Hi Taylor, welcome to Health Tech with Purpose.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So how are you today?
I am doing well.
And
I'm doing well. The legs are a little tired. We're on day 2 or day 3 of
yeah,
Vive, but feeling good, feeling energized. It's a lot of fun.
awesome. And how's Nashville? It's been 3 days here, right?
It's pretty cool. I think I've got to come back. Food's good. The music's good. A lot of good people.
Awesome, awesome. So to start with, we would like to know a little bit more about you and your journey till here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but prior to founding Scale Health, I'm a multi-time founder. Founded my first company shortly after I graduated from school, and really learned a lot along the way. Was fortunate enough to surround myself with good partners, with good advisors, and ran that company for about 6 years.
Wow.
And over the course of that time, really, we're here talking about purpose. Like really, over the course of that time, I felt like my purpose was really defined for me, um, and really was honed and focused around how can I do a better job of being a good partner to founders, and specifically to founders who are trying to tackle big challenges, and healthcare certainly being at the top of that list.
Great, great. So you are a serial entrepreneur.
I try.
Nice, nice. So would like to understand a bit more about Scale Health and what you guys are doing.
Yeah, is Scale Health, and the long and short is that we're a health innovation marketplace. We're essentially a matchmaker that leverages a technology platform that connects hundreds and thousands of startups and innovative companies on one side with health organizations, payers, providers, corporate partners, basically any entity that is looking for new innovative ways to be able to either address their immediate needs or their longer term strategic goals. And so they'll come to us and say, Scale Health, we're looking for a behavioral health solution that is based in the US, has a diverse founding team, is willing to do a pilot for free, but has run partnerships with these organizations before, whatever the case might be. And we can very quickly say, well, here's the five best around the
Nice.
world, and here's how they're assessed, making sure they're compliant, making sure they have enough market validity for that partner, and then making sure they're at the end of the day relevant for what the partner's needs are.
Interesting. So how do you curate, all the health tech coming onto the platform? So what's the process there?
It's free for all startup
Okay.
to health tech companies to join the platform. We don't put our thumb on the scale in any way. So we don't have an application process. We don't invest. We don't take equity in our companies. But what we do is that when they join, we ask them for insights on who they are, how they're doing, how they're growing. So we want to know financial information. We want to know team information. We want to know what their milestones are. We want to know what their highs and their lows. And based on all of that, then once they're in our system, they have access to a curated dashboard that we call the Scale Health Architect
Nice.
that connects, basically surfaces for them and connects them with resources that are relevant to them based on that data, based on what stage they're at now. So that might be connections with advisors, connections with investors, connections to health organizations that have a specific need at this time, educational resources, and all of that.
Oh, nice. And so that's one side of the platform, right? The second side is, of course, it could be payers or providers or different type of organizations who are using it. So what's the process for them to be onboarded, and usually who in within those organizations are kind of taking the responsibility of choosing a vendor or working with some company?
Yeah, the second question first, if it's a smaller system, a 10, 20 bed, 30 bed rural hospital, community hospital, generally we're working with the CEO in most cases or chief administrator. Larger systems, we're often working more with innovation teams, the information teams, CIOs, often strategy, business development, or maybe department leads. A nursing unit or an impact unit, whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
They typically will reach out to us, and they will or go to our platform, and they're free to connect with us there. But essentially, when they're in, we ask them those questions. We want to know what is keeping them up at night, and in a perfect world, what is that solution that would solve their problems.
Yeah.
And then our job is to take all of that information that they provided. It might be a very broad topic, it might be very, very specific. But when they provide that to us, then we go into our system and we can do really one of two things. One, either provide them with a quick, what we call a market map that says, like, based on your criteria, here's what's out there right now. Or we could do what we call a challenge, which is more of a longer tail initiative that takes all of their criteria into account and runs maybe several hundred startups through their process, making sure that the startups really do align with the needs of that system so that the ones that come out the other side are really perfect matches.
Nice, nice. And what happens once there is a match? So, say, somebody on the provider side or any organization got to know about a great company. So, what happened next?
We can follow that process as far as both of those parties want. So in some cases, it might be our health organization might just want to report, and they might want to say, okay, here's the companies that you've sent to us. This first one looks really good. We just want to have a call with them, and that might be the end of our engagement. We're able to go back to that company and say, here's this CIO. You should meet with them. We can connect them, and then we're hands off. In other cases, we stay more involved and really can follow all the way through the procurement and the contracting process to make sure that there is a very smooth handoff.
Nice. So there you could also go that extra mile to kind of make sure that everything is a smooth process.
Absolutely.
Nice, nice, great. So what were the challenges you faced while building this, and how did the idea came in?
I mean, certainly many challenges. None. None that are particularly unique to us. I think the idea came about, again, going back to just what I'm passionate about, and the core idea was thinking about how can I do the blocking and tackling? How can I create an organization that empowers innovators to be able to do the work that they want to do, but while saving them the time along the way, so they don't have to be knocking on every single door hoping the right person answers it. But how can I get the right stakeholders around the table? How can I make sure that the startups that can be talking to the right people, can be selling to the right people, and can be saving as much time as they can for the hard enough job of running their own company. That's where the idea started, and certainly as we've continued to grow, we've been able to build out an absolutely amazing team that has continued to help that vision evolve into what it is today. In terms of the challenges that we've come across, I mean, first and foremost, the pandemic. We were not the only ones that ran into challenges there, but for us, prior to COVID, we opened our doors in 2018, and we're headquartered in Los Angeles. We have a very a large physical facility there, and prior to COVID, that was really our focus. We were much more kind of an entrepreneurial center specifically focused on healthcare. So we had speakers coming through. We had Vice President Kamala Harris came through. We had a lot of investor panels, a lot of keynotes, a lot of summits, a lot of roundtable discussions. But it was very physically, oriented to our location in West LA. And then, when COVID hit, we couldn't use that space for a period of time. We were all, working from home. And so we had to very quickly think about how can we pivot our model in such a way where we can take what is still special about it, like what is our secret sauce, but do it now virtually.
Nice.
And so that was the jump that we made, and we really have, and that's what led to us building out this technology platform. And it's really enabled us now to grow all around the world.
Yeah. So COVID did present a challenge, but then it also helped you, think about how you can scale it up, and it was kind of a blessing in disguise, to say.
Yeah, it was certainly a silver lining.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. So, how do you look to scale this up? Is it geography? Is it so what's the main scaling factor here?
Yeah, great question. We want to have line of sight to all innovative solutions all around the world, and so as an example, we have primarily most of our startups are based in the U.S. We have a quickly growing ecosystem in Europe. We don't have much of a presence in India, and I know there's just so much amazing
Yeah.
work happening there that you know I'm eager to figure out, okay, how can we better tap into, better support
Yep.
these amazing entrepreneurial ecosystems, um, and play a pivotal role in supporting their growth. Coming to the U.S. companies, tapping into the resources in India as an example, and vice versa. So that's where we're looking to really grow. We have the technology platform that is working really, really well, and a lot of our goal is, of course, as that continues to improve, just build our tent, and make sure that we're having every innovative solution coming in and being a part of the scale ecosystem. And then on the other side, making sure that payers, providers, plans are thinking about us first and foremost, and thinking about if there is something that's keeping them up at night, coming to us in the morning and saying we need a solution for this.
Yeah.
We want to be that first call. So that's a lot of what we're where we're growing. But for us, at the end of the day, it really comes down to just ensuring that first and foremost, the inpatients, the people that need solutions, need innovative ways to be able to access higher quality care, get the care that they deserve. And by being able to connect these dots at a high volume, we feel like we're in a much better position to be able to support people who are under supported, are under resourced, and deserve better healthcare than they're receiving today.
Nice, nice. So, and I was gonna come to that what is the impact that you see the idea is gonna bring in, and so there's a follow up to this as well. So, what's the impact, and is there a particular moment or a success story you would like to quickly share?
Yeah, from an impact standpoint, we do a tremendous amount of work. As core to our mission and our values, we do a lot of work around health equity. We're about to kick off a big challenge around street medicine and supporting
Nice.
innovative health solutions for homeless populations, or recently housed community members that are struggling with chronic conditions from having lived on the streets for many, many years. And so since our platform is flexible in that way, it is something that can be done very cost effectively. I feel like we're uniquely positioned to be able to look at these big issues and say we can drive some value here.
Yeah.
We can create something here and support these people that need the resources that we feel like we're uniquely positioned to be able to provide. So from an impact standpoint, that's first and foremost for me. And then from a case study standpoint, one that always comes to mind for me is we're the health innovation partner for rural hospitals in New Mexico, and one of our hospitals is about a 25 bed hospital. They came to us and they were looking for a solution that could address the communication gaps that they were running into.
Interesting. Yeah.
And because they were dealing with a elderly population, often hearing impaired, who were relying heavily on lip reading to be able to communicate with their physician. And now with COVID, everyone's wearing masks, and they weren't able to do that.
Yeah.
And so this CEO, really very forward thinking, came to us and said, we don't have a huge budget. We're looking for something to pilot for free. Our team is stretched thin, so we don't have a lot of time to be able to stand something up and go through a whole training process. What's a digital solution that's willing to do a free pilot that can address this challenge? And amazing company based out of the UK, Cardmedic, was a member of the ScaleHealth ecosystem, and was the company that ended up being surfaced as the most relevant one for this opportunity. We connected the CEO, Rachel Grimaldi, with this hospital in New Mexico. They went from first meeting to pilot in about 3 months, and now one, the impact that's come out of that is fantastic, and two, Rachel is now scaling across the U.S. It's very, very cool. Yeah.
Amazing. So one of the things that I felt and I wanted to ask you was your marketplace platform is ready, and today it is serving healthcare. Do you foresee that it might serve other technology, other domain verticals as well?
That's an interesting question. When we first started out, we were not 100% focused on healthcare. In our very earliest days, we were talking about where the idea came from, and Originally, it was solving challenges in large regulated spaces,
Okay.
and so we saw the momentum was going into healthcare, and I think we continue to drill down deeper and deeper on that process. Um, I would not want to take on going into another market. One, because I feel like if we can solve healthcare,
Yeah.
that's a big enough beast on its
Yep.
own. But we do keep that thought in the back of our head. So much of what we built is uh, easily transferable to other industries, and I think that and we want to keep that opportunity.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we'll ever cross that bridge. We have our work cut out for us here.
Yeah, yeah. Great. So, coming to my last question, the podcast is about health tech with purpose, right? So, what's the purpose of Scale Health, and where do you see it's going?
I mean, the purpose is to make health innovation practical and possible
Great.
for everybody. We don't want a healthcare decision maker to feel like just because they don't have a large budget or they don't have a dedicated team that they can't take advantage of the most interesting, exciting, cutting edge solutions out there. We want to be that translator. We want to break down those barriers and give them access to this amazing world of up and coming and in many cases very well established thought leaders that are pushing the boundaries of what is possible in this industry. That's really the core of where we like to
Awesome.
focus.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Just saying hi to everybody who's watching. I hope you learned something about Scale Health, and I hope you got to know a little bit more about Taylor.